Let me go ahead and get my chat up here. Let's go ahead and let's get YouTube rolling, and we are live. Well, look, today is officially the Super Bowl of monitoring the situation. And look, here's what actually happened today. So the market actually sold off hard this morning. At the lows, the S&P was down over, a 1%, give or take. It felt heavy this morning. It did. It felt like sellers were in control. Then boom, right near the end of the day, it snapped back and we closed basically flat. I mean, we squeaked out a little bit of green. So what changed? Well, Pakistan's prime minister sent a tweet, sent a note to the Trump administration. He basically asked Trump to extend the Iran deadline 2 more weeks. The White House said they're aware of it, that they're coming up with a response here. And actually, Iran told Pakistan, which is basically mediating the talks between the US and Iran, that it believes it's winning the war. And they said they have another 15,000 missiles and 45,000 drones in their arsenal. We are about 3 hours away from the deadline right now. So traders saw a possible off ramp. Buyers came in. That's it. That's the whole day. It wasn't earnings, wasn't the Fed, it wasn't economic data. Again, it was a tweet. It was a tweet that flipped the tape in the last 30 minutes of the market today. If that tells you anything about this environment, we're going to break it down today. Look at the numbers here. S&P, look, I mean, everything was basically flat. It squeaked out 5 points up on the close. NASDAQ, 21 points on the close. Pop green. Dow, I guess a little bit of the outlier, even though we were all kind of flat. It was down about 85 points today. Look, barely green after being down 1%, and the Dow finishing slightly in the red. Now the S&P 500 is down right now below its 200-day moving average. So that level right now is 66.47. Every single time we try to push above that level this week, we have failed. So I guess that's our ceiling right now. That's the line until we close above it with real volume. I guess it's kind of just noise at the end of the day. If we take a look at VIX, we can see the VIX, right? The S&P 500 volatility index. It ran up today again towards the end of the session. We got that tweet, we got that news, and it started dumping, right? So it was up, it was down. Now it's kind of just, back to, I guess, where it was, 11 o'clock this morning. It's crazy. It's crazy. So fear technically increased on a slightly green day. So I don't know, the options market selling you something. Traders are not super relaxed yet. Nobody's confident. They hedged. That's not really what a healthy rally looks like, which I would be remiss to even call this a healthy rally. We did bounce back, yes, off of a heavy sell-off into a crazy volatile, probably evening, and we'll be able to watch it. I hope everyone's got their popcorn ready, because the futures markets still going to be open, still going to be ticking. We went from 111 to 117 intraday, then settled back near 113. Pretty big swing in one session, and that's just kind of the Iran premium built into every barrel on oil. Just crazy charts all around today. It's wild. Gold. I mean, gold. I don't know. Gold didn't do a whole lot. It hasn't been doing a whole lot all week. It's pretty much more or less been flat since last Thursday, since the 2nd. We've kind of just been chopping within a range here. It's looking like it's taking out the highs right now, though not with any true conviction. 47.33 right now. Bitcoin, what did crypto do today? So we had, it pumped kind of like everything else did. It's coming to back test the daily high that was put in during the London session right now. So it's holding the line right now. 10-year yield, 4.34%, still holding above 4, still no rate cut signal right now. Look, day in one signal. The market dropped in Iran fear. It got a diplomatic headline and it clawed back to flat in one afternoon. What an crazy day. And go ahead and block a couple guys spamming chat with BS. Big top gainers of the day was United Healthcare. United was up 10.55%. Look, the government announced bigger Medicare Advantage payments for 2027. CMS, that's the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they're raising payment rates by about 2.5% next year. That's $13 billion more going to health insurers. And the market expected something smaller. This was bigger, way bigger than expected. So United, let me go ahead and just pull up the United here chart for you guys. It gapped. Let's get off of 15. Let's get off a 5-minute chart. You can see that big pump, boom. And, more or less for the rest of the day, it was flat. That was kind of after hours yesterday, but it has been crushed for weeks. United has been crushed for weeks. Traders were scared of the Medicare reimbursement cuts, and one number reversed all of that fear overnight / into today. Stock at 307.01 right now. And I mean, look at this chart. Zoom out on this. Like, it had been beat to hell. Let me go ahead and remove all my old TA on this thing here. I mean, it had been, even zoom out even further, right? I mean, this is a daily chart. This thing has been getting beat down since that top at December of 2024. But we're seeing the market react here off of what? Off of a sweep of the lows. Does someone know? Does someone load up beforehand? Boy, it sure looks like that. And then we gapped way up overnight into today. Off of that news. That's a big move in one session. Now, Humana also ripped. CVS up over 4%. The whole managed care sector kind of caught a bid today a little bit. Now, why does this matter at the end of the day? This is a clean catalyst trade. That's what it is. Clear reason, clear move, no guessing why, because we know why. So now the question is, do we continue or not? So the sector as a whole, deeply oversold going into today. So if the payment increase holds, these names have room to go up. 100% they do, but watch the broader tape, right? Geopolitical risk, and whatever happens tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, it overrides everything. But look, if Trump tacos, and let me know in chat, what do you guys think? Trump tacoing tonight? Is he chickening out? Is he going to follow through on his word? What do you guys think in chat? But if the can gets kicked down the road, these Humana, CB, I mean, they have room. United Healthcare, they have room to run up. I mean, look where we pumped to at the end of the day. Like, there's people out there, technical analysis is just, horoscope. It's trading moon signs. So then why don't we pump right to there? So big impulse up, gap down. And look where we just gapped to today. I mean, right to that kind of 307, 308 level. If we can get a solid close, if the can gets kicked down the street, I think Pakistan right now is asking for 2 more weeks. They're saying, let diplomacy work. 2 more weeks. Maybe Trump does it. Maybe Trump doesn't. I have no idea. He's a bit of a maverick. I don't think a lot of people know right now. But if the can gets kicked down the road, I think United has some room. It has some room up to $354. And that's not a bad move. That's a 15% play. And I'm saying that's the next area where I see people reacting, where we might stall, where we might see some profit taking before the next move up or down. So show me a close above that 307, 308, break us back into this range, this auction that we were just in. You can almost kind of separate this as 2 separate auctions here. Break us back above, maybe a little room up to that kind of 355, 360 level. And I mean, if take that out, maybe it's 381, 389. But like I said, the Iran war, that backdrop, geopolitical tensions, that kind of trumps everything. So another big gainer of the day was Broadcom, so up 5.17%. So here's what happened. So they announced a long-term AI chip deal with Google. They'll develop and supply custom chips, TPUs, for future AI infrastructure. So they also signed a deal with Anthropic that gives Anthropic access to 3.5 gigawatts of computing capacity. So why does this matter? So tech was broadly red today. So if you're watching the Qs or watching SPY, tech was leading. right? It led the sell off. The signal for the move today. I mean, I'll just kind of show you guys what I mean here. This is what we were all watching, trading in Discord this morning. Look at this move. Let me turn on VWAP here real quick for you guys, just to kind of show you. So the sell off today, you saw it on NASDAQ first. So 8:30, which is 9:30 Eastern time, when the market opened, it swept basically this London session bear flag, and then the move played out, right? So that is what NASDAQ did this morning. But ES, right? ES didn't do that. ES actually technically swept earlier in the session, but not on open. So that's what I mean when I say tech was broadly red. It led today. Broadcom went up 5% anyway. That's a stock telling you something loud and clear at the end of the day, that AI infrastructure spending, it's not stopping, right? The hyperscaler, they're still building. Broadcom, it kept winning that business. You know, now the question is, like, does it continue or not, right? So if I can spell Broadcom right, let's just take a look at ABGO here real quick for you guys. I mean, you zoom out on the daily chart, anybody in Broadcom right now should be singing the praises of this news. And I know a lot of you guys who are watching this, a lot of you guys, how am I wrong? How am I wrong, Mitch? Let me know. Don't just say wrong. Tell me how I'm wrong, brother. Don't just say wrong. Tell me how I'm wrong. I'm open to debate, Mitch, but don't just say wrong, because that's not adding anything to this show. But anybody, and I know a lot of you guys are watching Broadcom and are asking me to chart this all the time. This news, you know, should give you a little bit more of hope here. You know, a little bit more juice to squeeze out of this one. But look at this. Look at the market structure. I mean, this thing is just beautiful. Higher highs, higher lows. We took out the high. I mean, it was actually last Tuesday, when we took out this high right here. Boom, right there, right? And then just some continuation today with that news. So if AI CapEx stays strong, AVGO has real tailwind. But if it closes, you know, I would say, you know, you want to watch this breakout here from last Tuesday. You want to watch that, right? So if we fall back underneath of it, this is a 15-minute. Let me go back here. If we fall back, right, underneath 328, 329, something like that, I might be a little worried. But big day, big gap up. Watch for a pullback, you know, before adding to anything. Losers, Apple down 2.74%. So Asia reported that Apple's foldable iPhone has problems. So engineering tests revealed setbacks in the development phase. So in the worst case, shipments could be delayed for months in the new foldable iPhone. Apple closed down a little bit today. Let's pull up Apple here. Again, I'm having spelling issues today. My brain's already at max capacity for the day. So it was down, then it was up, pull back a little bit. It's still down on the day. So we talked about this sweep yesterday, possibly continuing into today, and it did. So again, Apple needed this product. They need this product. The AI story hasn't gone away, you know, gone their way so far this year. Now the big hardware launch is potentially getting pushed back. That's kind of two problems stacking on top of each other. So no real big catalyst to reverse this near term until Apple shows that the product is back, till they kind of fix this and get the product launch back on track. This is kind of like a show me situation. It's still a range bound stock at the end of the day. I mean, Apple at the end of the day, it's been in this range going back to, I don't know, not quite a month ago, about 3 weeks ago. It's kind of just flat and in a holding pattern right now. You zoom out even farther and what you have, I don't know, I mean, the lows that we've been testing these lows going all the way back to October of 2025, and we've been testing them for the last month here. So I guess the story on Apple at the end of the day is watch 245-ish. Watch that level. I mean, you lose, you break that, you're obviously coming down lower, but it's holding for now. And we've been testing it. We've been testing it for the last 3 weeks, and it tried to push higher. It tried to push higher over the last week or so and just couldn't do it. But that dip did get clawed back today, so it still has a chance to go higher, really, at the end of the day. And I think that level to break, 262.48, we tested it several times back early March, mid-March, I would say. So March 11th, March 10th, we tested it before kind of that bottom fell out a little bit. And then really, what do? Just come back down, touch these lows here. So I think these are the two most important levels for Apple right now. You might as well call it 245. We'll call it 262. You don't want to lose it, but if you see a sweep down here and a reclaim, there might be a nice little long back up to test that 261 level. Otherwise, show me some effort, show me some participation above 262, and then we can come up here and attack these highs, right? 276, 277, 280, something like that. So that's it. Tesla was up 3%. I'm sorry, down 3% today. So didn't really have specific news. It just sold off with the rest of the kind of high beta tech stocks today. So when fear spikes, what happens? High beta gets hit first every single time. So let's just pull up Tesla real quick here. So Tesla here, I mean, you can see it, right? You can see where they were in the session. They did claw back, right? Just like a lot of stuff came back with that Iran tweet at the end of the day. But Tesla is kind of like the market's barometer for risk appetite. When it's red and VIX is spiking, traders are defensive. So continuation or not on this thing. And I mean, just zoom out and kind of look at this chart. I mean, obviously it has, again, this is a daily chart. It has been selling off. It's still kind of holding this important line, right? Like, look at that. I mean, that was that big breakout that we had, a big daily candle gap. Look at that big daily candle there. So this was that breakout that we had back in September of 2025. It's still holding that. It's still holding the line, and it needs to at the end of the day. So again, geopolitical headlines, situation tonight, the deadline now, 2 hours, 45 minutes away. If it escalates, Tesla and other high beta names hit first. They're going to feel it first. That's really the overshadowing story at the end of the day. So what do people talk about? What are people looking forward to for the rest of the day? Trump's 8 p.m. deadline for Iran. That's it. That's the whole conversation at the end of the day. The simple version is, straight kind of locked up. It's been locked up for about 5 weeks now. 20% of the world's oil flows through the state. Trump's deadline tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. He's basically said open interface military strikes on power plants and bridges, right? Like he's set a deadline for negotiations. Whether that gets kicked down the road or not, I don't know. But this morning, I don't know if you guys have seen the tweets, but he's ramped up the rhetoric. He basically posted that a civilization could die tonight, is what he said. And markets dropped, oil surged, and Pakistan's prime minister came in. He tweeted asking for 2 more weeks. The White House, they sort of responded. They said they're aware of it, but they haven't fully responded yet. So the market's kind of on edge, waiting for that right now. And that matters because why? Every single asset class is trading off of these headlines right now. Oil, stocks, gold, Bitcoin, all of it. That's why the VIX stayed elevated, even on a slightly green close today. The market knows this isn't over. Iran, reportedly rejected the ceasefire proposal, but they're asking for like a full end to the conflict, right? Plus reparations. They don't just want a ceasefire. Trump even said, we don't want a ceasefire. That's the hard line. That's a hard line right now. So just watch it tonight, man. Watch oil futures, watch S&P futures, watch tech, watch NQ. That's going to tell you what traders think happened, what's happening and how we're reacting after that 8 p.m. deadline. And who knows? Maybe we get a tweet beforehand, maybe something happens beforehand. So right now, what am I seeing? Iran media is reporting an attack on a petrochemical facility, and I'm going to butcher this name, but Mahashar. Several attacks targeting Iran militias in Baghdad. So I don't know, there's a petrochemical facility being attacked right now. Who knows? But there's also a bigger picture story brewing too, which is the Meg 7, right? Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, Google, they're hitting fresh lows. You can see what Tesla is doing here. You look at the other ones too, they're hitting fresh lows relative to the broader S&P 500 this year. And JP Morgan even came out and said it directly. The Meg 7 is not acting as a safe haven. It's not. Goldman Sachs even added that tech valuations have fallen to near market average levels, right? So that's a big shift from where we were a year ago. And the AI spend is still real. We saw it with Broadcom today. So the problem is that the premium is still getting squeezed at the end of the day. So just keep watching how that plays out. Yeah, there's going to be a buying the dip opportunity here at some point. When that point is, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. More certainty. I don't think kicking the can down the road really helps us much. Yeah, we'll probably get a little bit of a pop on it. Yeah, oil will sell off a little bit. But then it's just a new deadline we're watching and new tweets we're watching and new headlines we're watching as that can gets kicked down the road 2 more weeks. So who knows? So if you guys want to, this is the part of the show now, we'll take a look at whatever stocks you guys want to look at. What up, Kush? What up, J-Meg? Good to see you, brother. I'm a reefer head. I don't smoke weed, dude. Oh, you're talking about Kush in chat? How'd you guess that with a name like Kush? I'm late. What do you think about BTC bottom? I don't know, dude. For sure not bottom. For sure not bottom. I'm looking for a bottom probably sometime in October, November, towards the end of the year on Bitcoin. I gotta follow what the charts say and not trade based off of what I want to happen, what I want my bags to do, because I want them to pump, of course, right? I just look at the chart and I see a bear flag. Just like I saw a bear flag over here. I don't see excitement. I don't see conviction. I think I wouldn't be surprised, dude, if you see a 49K Bitcoin. If you take what this cycle looks like right now and you compare it to what last cycle looks like, it's a freaking matrix style facsimile. It's the exact, like every single movement. Like this was the bear flag we were in before. This is the bear flag we're in now. I still think we have some more downside, man. I'm fully plugged into the matrix here. I've been taking the red pill. I think there's more downside in Bitcoin. I think we bottom sometime in like October or November. That would line up with the cycle theory. I don't think Bitcoin's a buy yet. Unless you have DCing in, then do you at the end of the day. I think there's a little bit more downside before there's eventual upside in Bitcoin at the end of the day. What's your prediction for gold based on Trump tweets? Brother, who knows? Stick and move. That's what Kush says. Stick and move, right? What laptop you recommend? Bro, what do I look like? This is an electronics. I have a Legion Lenovo 5080 Ti. That's what I got, brother. What's my predictions for gold based on Trump tweet? Brother, who knows? If I knew that answer, man, this is my honest answer for you. I would be rich as shit if I knew that answer. But what I can tell you, what I will tell you based off of what the gold chart is saying, I mean, let's just zoom in. Let's just zoom into a gold chart here. So this is just a 4-hour chart on gold. So gold hasn't done a whole lot for the last 7-8 days. I mean, look at what gold's been doing. It's been consolidating. So is there a move coming on gold? Yeah, probably there is a move coming on gold. It's been flat for a week when the markets have just been whipsawing back and forth, up and down based off of a tweet. So what I will tell you is you have a solid low to watch and you have a solid high to watch, right? So what are you watching for around these levels? Well, these are obvious areas where people are going to react to it. So there's obvious liquidity up here. There's obvious liquidity down here. Yeah, there's a little bit below us, but this was that big impulse low before we stopped and kind of just chop sideways, right? So if I was a trader, if I was looking to trade this for a larger term swing move, I'd be watching those levels for traders' reactions, right? I mean, you look at what gold does. I mean, it's just, what is it doing? What do we do here, right? At this big dump, where do we dump to? Liquidity, right? We took out all this sideways chop here and then it rebounded. So I'd be looking for that initial, whatever happens tonight, whatever the tweet says, it doesn't matter. The markets are going to jump in one direction and watch what happens and where we jump into. I would not be surprised tonight if we jumped into this pile of liquidity or this pile of liquidity, depending on the news. So don't trade that initial reaction to the news. Don't hop in, don't FOMO in. Just wait for that initial reaction, because one of two things are going to happen. We're going to sweep the lows, we're going to sweep the highs, and it might not be that dramatic of a move. It might just be this little range that we're in here, where it jumps up, jumps down, but watch for it to take the highs or take the lows and then come back and then come back, right? Because news is always gonna pump you. It's always gonna pump or dump you into liquidity, and then the real move happens. And they could just take that liquidity and run, or they could take that liquidity and dump, but that's not what I'm looking for, man. I'm looking for that trap. I'm looking for that dump or pump, that initial knee-jerk reaction, and then for the market to kind of just figure it out. Figure it out. Who's wrong after that initial knee-jerk reaction? And that's the trade that I'm going to take. It's based off of who's wrong off of that initial knee-jerk reaction. Who FOMO'd in? Who's off sides on the trade? And that's the position I'll take, dude. Here, or here. That's it at the end of the day. And what's going to happen? Brother, if I knew that, I'd be rich. What do you think about Chevron? When everyone says Bitcoin is a scam, it's time to buy. I didn't say it was a scam. I just said I don't think it's bottomed yet. I have a shitload of Bitcoin. What do I think about Chevron? Look, Chevron and oil stocks right now, and then just oil in general, nothing matters. Nothing I say is going to matter. The only thing that matters is what happens at 7 Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm Central time, 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight. If the can gets kicked down the road, oil and oil adjacent stocks are going to dump a little bit. Not crazy, because we still don't have a formal solution yet. If Trump follows through and starts bombing Iranian infrastructure, then what's going to happen to oil? It's going to pop, right? It's going to pop 100%. So when I look at Chevron right now, it's just like a bat out of hell at the end of the day. Like, it's just taking off. There's not a whole lot of technical levels here other than oil's hot right now. Any resolution, any can kick down the road, any dovish tone that comes out of tonight, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of a pullback on these things. Any hawkish stuff, and it's gonna pump at the end of the day. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. You do have a pretty decent low here. Well, I don't know that I would call it a decent low, but it is for now. It's a low, right? Is this a bear flag and this thing breaks down? Do we get hawkish news and all of a sudden we're coming down and attacking these lows down here at like 186, 188? That's a real possibility. That could be a possibility. But you also have some highs here right around 204.5, 204.7 to watch for a continuation higher. But it kind of, like, for now, it looks a little bit like a bear flag. Like we could come down lower. But like I said, none of what I say matters, man. It's all about that tweet that happens tonight at the end of the day. Gold is on a pullback. What up, Rain Candle Studio? Gold is on a pullback from the 4 higher. I see a dump. Yeah, I mean, it definitely, it hasn't been super exciting. It definitely has not been super exciting this week at all for gold. It's trying to reach a little bit higher. It's trying, but we'll see, man. I got my popcorn ready for tonight. Can I look at RZLV? Well, thank you for warning me that it's a penny stock. Resolve AI PLC. At least you gave me a little bit of a warning there. Look, here's what I like and what I don't like. You know, this is showing me that the dip was bought, right? High or low. We put in a higher high. It's back testing right now. So here, I mean, they'll make this super, super simple for you. Here was the break. Here was the higher low. Here was the higher high. Boom, boom. And it's back testing, albeit violently because it's a penny stock right there, right? So this breakout, and it's holding for right now. I mean, it's sold off, like everything's sold off, and the candle recovery looks just like the Tesla candle recovery that I showed you earlier, man. So 288, 289, might as well call it $3 at the end of the day. Needs to hold. If it holds, you come back, you attack this high, possibly put in a higher high, because that's just a what? It's a confirmed breakout at the end of the day. If we slip that though, going into tomorrow, if we slip that, man, that's just a failed breakout, liquidity grab, SFP, whatever you want to call it at the end of the day. And this thing's coming back down to attack the lows. So it's just at a key level, brother. Watch it. If this thing sticks and holds, you're attacking the highs. If this thing fails, you're attacking the lows. But it's there. It's just back testing today and yesterday, really. Got that breakout, back test. It either goes or it doesn't here at the end of the day. Easy for invalidation. Where are you wrong? Well, you get accepted below. Where are you right? You see this thing creeping up tomorrow, you know, coming back up here, attacking those highs at like 327, 328. 7 o'clock Central Time. That's the deadline. We could get a tweet. I can't even say your name. It's in a different language, but 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central. That's just the deadline. A tweet could come out before, tweet could come out, you know, during. I'm still kind of like refreshing my newsfeed here to see if I'm missing anything as I'm live. All I've seen is like a couple of strikes, and it looks like, yeah, that's really it. Nothing new here. Okay, well, CNN is reporting that a deal is expected to be closed between the U.S. and Iran tonight, per CNN. So, you know, discussions are being steered directly by Pakistan's army chief. The White House did say Trump has been made aware of Pakistan's proposed ceasefire, and that a response will come. And look, this is all stuff that we kind of already knew, and this is why we saw oil drop towards the end of close and stocks kind of pull back from that sell-off, right? I just went over gold. Clone. I went over Broadcom today. They're back in action off of that big news, 100%. Guys, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, turn notifications. I go live just about every single day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Eddie also goes live. He dives into the charts real deep and chill like in the evenings on Sunday, Monday, and Fridays, and then kind of randomly throughout the week. Try and talk him into doing a Discord only meet for everybody. Yeah. Appreciate you all for hanging out and all the hearts. Appreciate you, Kush. If the deal is brokered, what impact can it depends on what the deal is, irreversible. If it's just we're kicking the can down. So his question is, if a deal gets brokered, what impact can it have on the gold trend? So it depends on what the deal is. If it's like a permanent, we're done, we're pulling out, we came to a deal, I think you probably see gold sell off, and you see the higher beta assets back in play again. The initial reaction, right? But if it's just we're kicking the can down the road, I think you see everything pop. So what I think you'll see happen, and this is just my theory, right? It doesn't mean I'm going to be right. But what I think you'll see happen is everything rises. I think you see stocks rise. I think you see oil pull back a little bit. But I think you see gold pump as well, because I think people are going to hedge. That's what we've been seeing on these headlines. So when you get a headline that looks dovish in terms of the Iran war, which looks like, is good news, you see everything kind of running together, right? So you see people dipping their toes back into risk assets, but you also see gold running. So it's not like a full conviction play. Full conviction play to me would be people are selling gold, putting it back into higher beta stocks, right? Putting it back into, the Qs, putting it back into Tesla, to Microsoft, the Mag 7, which we've just seen a huge sell-off from. So it depends on what the deal means tonight. That's what I think, right? Yeah, NASDAQ's closed right now. Well, the futures aren't, but the actual stock market's closed, yeah. But the futures tick, 23.5, sort of. They'll be open tonight. The futures, the NQ1. If you guys want to watch tickers tonight, watch these. I'll slide my screen over here. If you guys said TradingView, it's free. Take a screenshot. NQ is the NASDAQ futures. ES is the S&P 500 futures. You can watch Bitcoin futures. RTY is just the Russell. Gold futures is GC1 exclamation point. If you want to know What happens when news breaks on gold? You can watch the futures ticker because that's still ticking tonight. Oil is CL1. You got, you know, the bonds futures and other stuff on there too, but take a screenshot of that, put them on your list. These are all like macro, you know, stuff that I watch. But they tick off hours. Let me get my screen back. Which broker do I use? Bro, I use the same, bro. I mean, Ninja Trader for futures. And dude, I've just been using E-Trade for since I was like 19, 20 years old. And I just haven't changed. If I could pick a broker now, I might do Webull, man, because they just have cheap. I like to watch order flow and watch the tape for my specific how I trade. And Webull just gives it to you. It's like $16 a month for stocks. So I'd probably look at Webull if I wasn't just like ingrained in E-Trade, and that's where all my money is, and I've been using it since I was 19 years old. I've used Webull. Cool. PG a buy in the 130s. Bamboozler. Let's take a look at old Procter and Gamble. Yeah, I mean, you've been seeing the consumer staples sell off a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I see why. I mean, I understand why you're saying that. I could see us like pulling back. I mean, maybe even to like, you know, I love the sweeps, man, and that's what we do. I mean, look at here, right? I mean, I want to see something like this. Like here is the bottom. Sweeping that red candle, pumping, but it also, what did it do? It swept all that, right? Like I just love that. That's a buy signal for me. So back in December of 2025, we swept the lows. And a couple days later, we swept those lows, and that puppy ran up. I mean, how much? 20%? I'll take that. Do you know what I mean? I'll take that to the bank every single day. So yeah, I mean, I'd watch these lows down here, like 137.14-ish, right? But maybe a little bit lower. Maybe it even comes down to that 135.89-ish, right? And maybe you get a little sweep there, but I'm with you, man. I'm with you there. Obviously, you know, Trump or Iran at all need to cooperate with us, but for sure. How is trade? You mean Forex? Is that what you mean? I'll tell you guys, if you guys are new to trading, my opinion is the best thing to trade is just SPY and QQQ. Just SPY and QQQ. Forget Forex. You can end there. You can get there, but just start easy. Don't start on hard mode, right? Start easy. Start just buying and selling stocks. Don't start by adding a bunch of complexity on top of it. You can add complexity later. You don't have to start on hard mode, right? Just start by just buying and selling stocks. Find something you like. Learn. We don't need to add on. And this, I'm speaking from experience. I started on hard mode. I didn't choose the door I walked through. I knew what I knew. And if I had to talk to like a younger me, I would say, brother, just buy and sell stocks and then work your way through the process and work your way up. The more complexity you add, just more things that you can mess up. Not that Forex is like necessarily more complex, but just SPY QQQ, so liquid, so more predictable, easier to trade, you know, ETF instruments, high volume, lots of, you know, tools that can be used around it. That's my advice, man. That's my advice at the end of the day. And look, I'm not a course seller. I don't have anything to sell you, but I do have free courses, man, and a shitload of them. Like I'm talking, people charge $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for this shit, and I got hours and hours and hours of courses, strategy, psychology, markets, all the way from just how to even use TradingView on up, and it's 100% free. TacticalEdgeTraders.com. Doesn't cost you anything but your time. At the end of the day, if that interests you, if that interests you. Cool. Buy stocks and put your profits in ETFs. That's good. That's good advice, dude. What up, Deadwood? Good to see you, brother. Guys, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, turn notifications. I go live every single day at 5 p.m. Eastern time. The beginning of the show is usually me covering the markets. My name is Ben at Tactical Edge Traders. There's another guy on the channel named Eddie who shows up in the evening sometimes just to kind of hang out with you guys and chill and go over charts and answer questions. We have free Discord community, free courses, man. But I agree, Bamboo, so that's good advice. You don't need to start on hard mode, right? You got to start somewhere, but it doesn't be on hard mode at the end of the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. It's late. I've been at the computer since 7:30 this morning, my time, East Central time, and my eyes are popping out of my head and my mental capital is spent, but I will be back tomorrow. 8 o'clock Eastern time deadline. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't, but it's going to be fun to watch the markets make up their mind and figure out what way we go into tomorrow. So the markets have been anything but boring. I'll tell you that. And I appreciate y'all for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.